What's up everybody, my name's Grace, and in this video today, I'm here to show you all my Elgato Stream Deck setup. If you are new to my channel, I am a full-time streamer on Twitch, and for me, the Stream Deck is one of those things that you kind of consider a luxury item, but when you have one, you simply cannot live without it. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that have a Stream Deck and aren't using it to its full potential, probably myself included, but I'm here to show you all today what's on my Stream Deck and how I use it. So here is my Stream Deck. As you can see, there are a large array of different buttons. To note as well, I am using the Stream Deck XL, which is the biggest Stream Deck with 32 buttons. So starting from the top left, we're just going to go from left to right and then down the rows and explain what everything does. Starting off with the top left, so this button here is my sub goal button. This is a very simple button. When we reach a sub goal on Twitch, everyone in the chat is awarded 5,000 points of currency, which they can use to enter giveaways and betting and all that kind of stuff. It's just a simple button that posts something into the Twitch chat, which is something that I use quite a lot. Next to it here is my chat scene and my main game. So these are two OBS functions. These will change my scenes from one full screen of my camera where I talk directly to my viewers, and the next one is my main game screen. The main game screen is where the gameplay is full screen, and then my camera is a bit smaller off to the side. Next to it is my Grace Math emote button that just posts an exclamation mark links into the chat, so it triggers a command that links all of my social media. Sometimes as a solo streamer, I may not have any mods around and I want to be able to give my audience information that they're asking for. Next up is my hype train button. This is just a piece of music that plays anytime we have a hype train. It has a bunch of train noises. It has some really high energy music just to encourage people to support the stream. And it is just an on-off audio file. So you can see when I press it, it shows how much longer left in the song. It has the audio waves, and then I can turn it on and off nice and easily. It also loops. So if I do have a hype train that goes for 6 to 10 minutes or whatever, it will just keep playing back to back on loop until I turn it off. So I will kind of glaze over the next few because they are simply sound effects. I'm not going to go into detail about each individual sound effect, but I have probably about 60 to 70 different soundboard sounds. The ones on this first page are the ones that I use the most, and then I have 2 full pages of other noises. So on my main page, obviously we've talked about the hype train. We've got the dun dun dun, which is the dramatic music. We have the rim shot for any time someone makes a dad joke. These are for my PUBG custom games. I had an artist called Kyle Sevenoaks create some music for me for my top 10 of PUBG, and also a Mad Max style track that is really high intensity and makes the games super fun. Next to that, we have my giveaway button. This happens every time we do a giveaway. It's really just upbeat, fun type of music to make the atmosphere really energetic and get people excited for the giveaway. So these ones on the side are my emotes, mostly just for symmetry. I liked having a line of them in the center and then a line on them on the side with the arrow that goes to the next page. These are also just sound effects. This one's crickets, this one's someone screaming no, and this is sad music. These are also just random sound effects, which you can kind of tell by the titles. We've got a no buzz, a big applause, oh snap, got him, kids yelling yay, and bye, have a great time. So just some little fun sound effects to help engage the audience. Coming back over to the left side here, we have the game blur. Now this is for any time that gameplay may be a little inappropriate and I don't want to get my channel banned, so I can quickly blur the screen if there's any nudity or anything that I think might be a little bit too risque for Twitch. I actually haven't had to use this button yet, but it is just there just in case. Next to that, we have the cam zoom, which just zooms in really close on my face for dramatic effect. Next to that, we have my cat cam, and that switches to my cat's area. I have 2 beautiful little fluff balls, and this is just for the chat to be able to see them. And sometimes I go out there and play with them if people want to see that. On the bottom row, we have the clip that button. And this one, when it's pressed, sends a timestamp to a notepad so that when I'm going back and editing my VODs, I can have all of the timestamps lined up and I don't have to go sifting through 8-hour-long live streams to find the best moments. You can also do this through Twitch using the markers, which I have on another page, but I personally like to edit my VODs direct from the recordings because the quality is slightly better than pulling it off of the Twitch VODs. This one here is the censor button, which is part of voice mod, which I'll go into detail in a little bit. It is just for, when it inevitably you start swearing your head off and things get a little rowdy and you want to censor it either for comedy or actually to censor it. And with that one as well, next to it is the mute mic button, which obviously mutes my microphone. The last 3 buttons that we haven't spoken about on this page, apart from the different folder buttons, are the 3 Elgato ring light controls. So these 3 buttons are the Elgato ring light controls. This one turns it on and off, which we can see. You can see a visual indicator of it turning on and off. You probably noticed the lighting change on the camera there slightly. So that turns that one on and off. This one turns the brightness down by 5%. This one turns it up by 5%. So if I'm not quite happy with how the lighting is, I can kind of adjust it on the fly, turn it up a little bit, down a little bit, or completely off if I want to be super dramatic and just end the show and walk out with my light off. That is a possibility. Just another thing to be able to change things on the fly while you are live. So that's basically the first page. Now we start getting into the nitty-gritty and going into the different folders. So the first one that we'll look at is this one here in the center. That's going to take us to lots of different buttons. And now this one, apart from the top 4 buttons that you can see that match the previous folders, these are all the standard button designs. So a lot of the controls within the Stream Deck have buttons already made for you. So if you're not, a crafty person, that's totally fine. There are some really good buttons by default that you can just look at them at a glance and realize what they do. I wanted to make a point of showing the default designs because some of them are actually really good and not everybody wants to spend the time or has the necessary skills to design your own buttons. One thing to note as well is that on Elgato's website, they do have a custom button designer, which you can use to make a wallpaper or make different buttons for your Stream Deck. One thing that I haven't mentioned as well is that you can do moving buttons like GIFs and things, but I just don't really need something flashing at me on my Stream Deck. So it is a choice if you'd like to do that too. So the top 4 buttons are multi-actions, and these allow you to have a range of different things happening at a single button press. This button up the top is my stream setup button. This is what I press when I turn on my computer in the morning and I'm going to stream. It opens up my Twitch, it opens up OBS Studio, it opens up Chatterino, Streamlabs chatbot, and Discord. Something that is really important as a solo creator is just making your workflow productive, and small things like this can just save you a little bit of time. So as mentioned, these are all multi-actions. So this one is my admin work. This opens my email. It opens mod view of my Twitch channel if I have any unban requests or anything that I need to do on the back end. I can do that. It opens my Streamlabs and also my Twitter. The next one is pretty simple. It just opens my Photoshop and my Spotify. So if I'm doing any thumbnail designs, doing any overlay things, or having to do invoices or anything, just opens up my Photoshop and my Spotify so I can get to work. And the last multi-action is the video edit button. This opens up Adobe Premiere, Audacity, and Epidemic Sound's website. Again, you could just open them all up manually, but it's just one button press to get it all done instantly. So we won't go over to the right side yet. We're gonna stay over here on the left. These green ones control my nanoleaf panels, which you can see just here behind the Stream Deck. And also here and in the back. So the first button is pretty self-explanatory. It's just the on-off switch. Can turn it on. We have brightness down and brightness up. You also notice we're getting a confirmation of a button press with a little tick. This one will change it to blue, which we can turn down and up. And then standard, I usually have it on yellow, which is a nice daylight filter that just lights my face like daylight. You can do a lot with the nanoleaf panels and a lot with these different controls, but for me, I like to keep them all on a single color and keep them static, because if they start flashing and carrying on, the white balance can change if you've got it on auto. You'll get different types of flickering depending on how bright and how dark they are, and it's a whole thing. So usually I keep this one on like a nice daylight filter, this side one on purple, and this one in the back is normally a nice pink. Underneath the nanoleaf controls, we have these purple ones, which are all Twitch button controls. So the far left is to clear the chat if for any reason, something inappropriate happens and you want to just delete the entire chat. That is a simple button press. Next to it, the little smiley face does emote only chat. Sometimes I use this if chat's getting a little bit rowdy and I'm in the top 10 of a battle royale and I just want to reel it in, or I'm versing a Dark Souls boss and I don't want chat to be distracting the crap out of me. I'll chuck on emote chat. It becomes a bit of a joke and it's a lot of fun. Next to it, this one we have is follower only chat. I don't really use this one a whole lot. It's normally just if there's a bunch of trolls or if there are bots or anything, we usually just chuck on follower only mode just to try and minimize the riffraff and get chat back to normal. Next to that one, we have the ad button, which is pretty self-explanatory. It plays a 30-second ad. Underneath on the bottom left, we have the slow chat. Again, I don't really have to use this one a whole lot. It's more just there in case. The fancy little crown is sub-only chat. Again, not really something that I have to use a lot. It's more of a fail-safe. If there are a bunch of bots or like a really toxic raid or anything, they're kind of just buttons that I use to keep my chat wholesome and not toxic. Next to that is the marker, which is what I spoke about a little earlier with the clip button. Basically, it'll put a little marker in your VOD, so you could do like a start point and a finish point. If you were doing a live recording of a YouTube video, you could have a start and an end, and then you can just cut it instantly. And next to that one is the create clip. So that will create a clip for you from your Twitch channel. So we'll continue down on this bottom row. This one's really neat. It is a little stopwatch. So you can just press it. You can set it to do any amount of time. So if you want to have, a 30-second countdown for something or a 5-minute countdown for a giveaway or whatever, this is just there for you at a single button press. And when the timer ends, it will play a little sound, which you can customize. Next to the stopwatch, we have 2 brightness controls. This one will turn your Stream Deck buttons down in brightness, and this one will turn them all the way up, which is how I have them. And next to that, we have a little sleep button. So if you want your Stream Deck to go to sleep, single button press, and then to get it back, you just press any button and voila. These 2 blue ones here are Twitter functions. So this one on the left will send out a tweet that I'm live, and I can customize the text and customize any attachments. Next to it is this one, and if I press that, that will change my Twitter name to be live now with a little space and then my username. So if people log into Twitter and they see that my username is live now, they know that I'm live. And of course, this is completely customizable to you. To the right of those Twitter functions, this is a Streamlabs button, and this will play the credits. So at the end of my stream, when I've finished, rather than having to shout out all of the names, this one shows you all of the followers, the subs, the moderators, bits, donations, everything. To the right of that one, you may have noticed this one kind of bouncing around with different percentages. That is my current CPU usage. So at a glance, I can see exactly what my CPU is doing rather than having to search for it in my command centers or in OBS. And lastly, for this segment, I know this video is getting incredibly long, but there is so much you can do with the Stream Deck. We are going to show off the Elgato strip light controls. You may have already noticed them in the video. They are placed here strategically, but now we're going to move them into shot with the Stream Deck, and I can show you the strip lights. So I've placed these strip lights just behind. It's a little bit ghetto because I just got them and I haven't set them up yet, so forgive me. So up the top, we have our on off. You can see they're illuminating beautifully. We can turn them down in brightness, turn them up in brightness, and I've just set 3 main colors for now. Change them to blue, change them to green, and back to pink. Something that is really cool about the Elgato strip lights is that they don't require a USB port. All they need is some power, and then you connect them through your Wi-Fi with Command Center, and you can control them with your Stream Deck. So now we've covered everything on this page, we're going to come back a folder, and we're going to come down to this bottom folder. Now this page I may glaze over a little bit because I'm super wary of this video being incredibly long. So these are all voice mod controls. All of these symbols are different voice changes and different effects. And this one is my personal favorite, which is a baby voice. So when I'm live, all I need to do is press this button down the bottom and then choose which voice changer I want. I can give you a sample right now. I like to use this
one a lot. So when someone comes at me with some childish behavior, I can talk to them like a baby. And sometimes imitate them if they're being super annoying.
So these buttons down the bottom, you may recognize this one. This is the sensor button, which I just have on this layer if I want to do it while I'm also doing, some other silly bits with different voice changes. This one will just turn off the background noise. So some of these noises, some of these voice changes have background effects. You may or may not want them on, so there's an option to turn that off. Something that is also integrated into Voice Mod is a soundboard. I don't really take advantage of this currently, but I do plan to do probably another whole page of soundboard sounds from Voice Mod. So once I get the soundboard sorted out and set up, this will stop all of the soundboard sounds. This one is the only soundboard sound that I currently have on. If you press it, it will play and that will stop it. So for now, these 2 buttons are more of a placeholder. This is just a soundboard image that I thought looked neat with the layout, and this will stop all of the soundboard sounds once I've actually set them up. The dice button is a randomized voice, so it can take me to absolutely anything, which can be fun on stream when I don't know what it's going to do. And then the last 2 buttons on the side is just monitoring on and off, which means being able to hear your own voice coming through your headphones. So that's a very quick overview of the voice mod things. I could go so much more into detail. Voice mod itself is quite a complex program and you can do a lot with it in terms of customization, but that's just, basic voice mod stuff. So we're going to go back a folder. One button I forgot to explain was this one. It just posts a Discord link to Twitch chat. So when people are like, hey, can I jump into the Discord? I can be like, yeah, friend, here you go. And we're going to press it. And it's probably going to post to my chat randomly while I'm not live. We are nearly there. We have a couple folders to show and then we are done. So the last thing that I'm going to show you is this button down the bottom. This is going to take us to an entire page of sound effects. So this is the soundboard that I've set up. I've set up different sounds for each individual button and a picture that I can see at a glance exactly what they do. So I'm not going to explain every single sound. I think you guys can probably guess what some of these do just judging by the images, which is kind of the goal for me, is to be able to just see it and know exactly what the sound is going to be. So I tried to make the thumbnails reflect that. So that's one page of soundboard sounds, and the last page, we've got a few extra spots here. So if you have any ideas or any inspiration, let me know down in the comments. As with the hype train music, which now I realize was probably playing when I was talking, but that's fine. We can have all of these sounds just trigger with an on-off. So if we press one, you'll see the sound bars. It's a quick one, just a little quick cherry pop. I'm not going to play the rest because they can be a little bit rowdy, but yeah, you can basically just press them on off and we can go back through the folders nice and quickly when I want to do my different sounds.
Bye, have a great time.
So there you have it. That is what is on my Stream Deck. If you are still here, thank you so much for being here. I hope this video gave you some inspiration on what to put on your Stream Deck if you've been wondering what to do with it. I'm sure there are plenty of things that I could be doing better. So if you have any ideas, pop them down in the comments below because I would love to hear from you all. I think the Stream Deck is something that is probably often overlooked as a luxury item or something that is unnecessary, but I think hopefully this video helped you understand how useful this tool is and how being able to do things on the fly, especially as a live creator, is invaluable. That is where I'm going to end the video for today. Thank you so much for still being here if you are still here. I know it's been a long video, but there's so much to talk about, as you can see. I'm super passionate about things that make streaming life easier, and the Stream Deck is definitely one of those things. Obviously, I mentioned many times, obviously this video is here on YouTube, but I stream full-time on Twitch, so hopefully I'll see some new friends over there. Thank you for watching. I hope this video helped you out, and hopefully I'll see you over on Twitch. Bye!